Oh, well, bad things are afoot. I've just taken the hub out of the loop, and I still don't have control over my camera or on my monitor. So I'm going to bow out real quick. You're muted. I don't know if that was something you intended to do. Kane is working his own problems. So you have Kane's video and my audio. And that's what you've got. Merry Christmas. So if you're watching this, we are having some rather entertaining technical difficulties. So, hi, I'm Guy. I'm the disembodied voice that is this picture down here. Luckily, it doesn't look like we have any viewers anywhere for any reason. So that's all good. And a plus, because I've got no control over my monitor. And Windows is so confident that USB would never possibly ever explode that it doesn't have a how to fix your USB if things start going wonky. And I agree with my wife. I need to go. Okay, here we are bringing up Device Manager. There we go. I'll be right back. Oh. Now you decide to rejoin me.
Oh, I can't help it when my brother decides to randomly call me.
He's a random person. I'm going to restart because the USB system is completely borked. I have no monitor. I have no cameras. All of my cameras are out. The only thing that's working right now is this. So I'm going to bow out of the entire thing, and then I'll come back in a minute or two.
Okay, sounds good. So how is everyone this evening? It's looking quiet. Too quiet. No. Is it like stuck? I guess not. Whoa! 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 Maybe? Is he back?
I'm back. And
Is it a thing?
To the air shield. And
is it working?
It's working.
Hold me.
All's working. So I don't know what's going on with the watch, but man, you plug that watch into the PC and it immediately like disables stuff.
What kind of watch is it?
It's a smartwatch. But it's one of those.
Is it like an Apple or is
no,
it?
No. It's just an Android.
Okay.
But it doesn't have a data cable. It just has a power line. So it shouldn't have done anything to the system because it's not a data line to the watch. It's just a power line. So plugging it in and having the entire thing go down is kind of alarming? Weird? I don't know. Anyway. Fixed. That's back up and running now. How you doing, Kane?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Really, this is the early Christmas gift for my wife and me. And the only reason it's early is because only because I need to watch how many steps I do at class, and the classes are before Christmas. And my wife wants to see how many steps she has at work. And it turns out today, because she got hers yesterday, so she put hers on today. And it turns out that in an average day, she does 9 hours of walking with 15 minutes of sitting. Which is why, if you've ever met my wife, she's 100 pounds soaking wet. Because
I have never met your wife at any point.
Yeah, she's not a very big human being. She's a very small human. I mean, she's tall, but she's not width-wise very large. Uh-oh. Your lights are out.
Yeah. I was afraid of that.
You blew the breaker?
My brother just did.
Your brother blew the breaker?
Yeah, he blew the breaker to half of the trailer. I'll let him go fix it. Yep. I don't feel like running out into the cold.
I don't blame you. Although I like the fact that he blew out the half of the trailer, which was just
because it's all plugged into the same circuit.
That cracks me up. Was that what he was calling before about?
Well, no, he was calling to tell me he was home and that he was going in to turn on his coffee pot and his heater.
Oh, yeah, heaters pull a lot of amps. Does he have a trailer as well?
He has an ambulance that he's converting into a trailer.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I saw somebody do that with another ambulance as well earlier. For reasons.
For stuff and reasons.
Yeah, but are you going to freeze to death before he figures out the breaker thing?
No.
Okay.
He knows the breakers quite well.
Well, no, I mean, but I'm noticing the lights have not returned.
Well, he has to run out to the barn
house. Okay.
Hang on a sec. Let me call him so at least he knows where he's plugged in at. I'll be right back.
No problem.
Oh, wrong thing.
Hey, Donald. How you doing, bro? Not there. There. Hey, Bob. All right. At some point, Brian will return. When Brian returns, I will. Apparently, I'm allergic to Can returning. That's probably what's happening. Is I'm totally me? Oh, I teach with a private company at 44th and Watts. That's my home base. So, do you have a kiddo? Is that what you're heading for here? Is you got a kiddo? You're still there. You're still in
I'm
the
still here. It's dark. Hold me.
Right? I need an adult. I need an adult. But I'm out of I'm out of Wheat Ridge. I know, right? Do we need a moment?
Oh.
Hey, your light came back. All right. Let's get back into the fray here, folks. Okay. 64th and Watts. I'm actually pretty close to 64th and
Yeah,
Watts.
everything's back on.
Donald, certainly we could get together if you wanted. There's a Starbucks right there at 64th and Watts we can meet at if you wanted. Right by the school. We can hang out, have coffee, chat, and stuff.
Stuff
Chat.
and things.
Thing is that 64th and Watts is a long way for Can. I'm just saying.
What's happening?
I don't know. He was wondering if we could get together. Donald was.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah. Because he's like, if 64th and Watts was in his area.
I mean, technically, Denver is kind of out of my area, but
Yeah.
I can make it work.
I don't know if he necessarily is trying to get together with you. I was just making a joke that it's way out of your area. Because it is. It's way out of your area. I don't know what he wants me to give. I mean, I'm not giving you my watch, Donald. I just got it. At least let me have time to play with the thing for a while before you say, oh, that's it, you're done. You can't have it because you can't handle Dinky. You can't handle the Dinky. Invariably, what everybody always says about me and electronics. I do. I have comics left. Oh yeah. What times do you go to poker? Because I could drop by a copy or two for you. I want to sneeze though. I'm totes gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. I've decided I'm allergic to your breakers, Ken.
Oh, okay. Is that what's going on now?
Yep. As soon as your breakers started going, I started sneezing, so I'm allergic to your breakers. Because I mean, like, I take my kid to martial arts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I'll be out and about tomorrow at 6, wandering around aimlessly in the city that never sleeps. And I'll be heading across that side of town. So if you wanted to get together tomorrow, that'd be fine. I could do that for you. I know where Balloon Inn is. I don't know why I'm going. You know what it is? I don't know what the next panel is. So I'm just sitting here perfecting the pictures of these ships. Right? Bob's saying you made that hand look totally effortless, like it was just...
I'm getting used to drawing hands. Like...
Okay. So Donald, if you are you going to be there tomorrow? Oh, it's Thursday, yeah. Yeah, you're going to be there tomorrow, yeah. If you're going to be there tomorrow, I'll just put you on my calendar and I'll meet you at the Balloon Inn. Because I'm going to go to art club tomorrow night. Which I might actually be able to convince Can to join us at.
Maybe. I have to see what's going on.
And I follow that. I live in Arvada and spend most of my time in Arvada. Weirdly.
It's almost like you live there.
Weird.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah. So Donald, the little guy's out of martial arts at 6:15, so I can't actually get to the Balloon Inn until about 6:30. So as long as you're there by 6:30, we're good. Okay, I've set a notification. There we go, my friend. I've got a lot of random running around tomorrow. Potentially might be late tomorrow. We'll have to see.
To the show?
Yeah.
Well, if you're here, you're here. If not, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, it is dropping like a stone in temperature up front here, so I'm gonna call it a night for tonight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna work out a new setup so that I'll probably be moving a bunch of stuff into the back so that I can work at night.
Are you in the cabin up here? Like the cab?
I'm in the front section right now.
Yeah, so like the driving section of the vehicle?
No. I'm just behind that. Let's see where.
Oh, so if it's like
See
a normal...
this curtain right here?
Yeah.
The cab is on the other side of it.
So that's why it's cold, is because that cab is all glass and stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm going to go into the back. So, I'll catch you guys later.
See you later.
Why?
Might be a short night for all of us. We'll see. All right. I am messaging all these people. I have now taken 82 steps today. Jump back. Watch out. Don't talk to me. I don't know. I don't understand any of it. I don't get it. We are having some problems this evening. Oh yeah. Oh, so after spending all this time world building, there was a moment where I was sitting around going, well, I've generated all of this world that I'm never really going to use. I mean, like most of it's just going to be a throwaway single line or something like that. All of it's useful because I believe that a rich underlying world makes even the single throwaway line awesome sounding, because you'll go through and find out that one throwaway line meant something somewhere. But then a buddy of mine said you should make like an RPG source book and just let it be like a 5e game system or a Savage Worlds book or something like that. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea. So none of this will go to waste. Even all of this stuff that's down this line on this thought process of how religions work. And I think that's a great thought there. Maybe religion evolved into being about personal growth and experience. The unity is a meritocracy. So it's all based on merit. People with higher merit are operating in a more they get more whatever. We haven't. This is one of those. Bill and I are still working on it. Pepper's husband, Bill, and I sort of hammer this one back and forth because I'm back and forth on the concept of whether a capitalism is the most ideal situation and how to make a functional meritocracy. It's true. It's true. So I want to figure out how to make a functioning meritocracy. I know they work because I'm a convention worker. I work at conventions. All that is a huge functioning meritocracy. So it does work. And legitimately, I would do this my entire life if I didn't have to, if I didn't have to figure out a way to pay for the rent and stuff. Yeah, Savage Worlds, Besom, Hero System, there's something out there would work. Probably Big Eyes, Small Mouth might not be a bad system for it since it isn't a manga. There is that. So I have been working also on a card game for a long time, a very, very long time. Like I got inspired to make a card game back when Magic was still brand new. I got very frustrated with the Star Trek collectible card game that came out from Decipher way back in the late 90s. I was super frustrated that it didn't do all the things it should have done. So I built my own game system out of that. And then for the longest time, I just had it sitting in a box over here with a rule set, but no lore. And then I started building this comic and realized that this could be the lore. So I've been injecting the lore into that rule set and making a card game. So I think that'd be fun too. So there's a lot of potential going on with all of these things. There's a lot of things I can do with this stuff. And having a broader, wider universe isn't going to kill me. You know what I mean? Like the Cimmerillion-esque book is not going to just sit by itself on a shelf and never get observed. Yeah, right? It was a mixed bag. It could have been so much better. I could have done a much better job with it. So, anyway. But first, we need to have comics, or else it's not going anywhere. It won't matter if I've got a deck of cards to play if you don't know, if you don't care, if none of the people are important. You know? It matters not at all. But I also think it'd be kind of cool if, yeah, they were. I don't know if Decipher was necessarily that. I think they actually genuinely had. I mean, it was run by Trekkies. I know because one of my closest and dearest friends ended up getting hired by Decipher for the CCG and ended up moving to Virginia and working with Decipher for years until they went down, and stayed with it literally all the way through their RPG segments where they had the license still. And he stayed with them until their license expired, and then the company folded, and then he moved back here. And now he works with some other game company because he's got zillions of years of experience now working as a game designer. But he's one of my old high school buddies, and we were playing Star Trek CCG, and he was frustrated with it, and I was frustrated with it, and he got on the forums and started, being very vocal, and that's where he just has one of those memories where he could remember everything. And so he was remembering cards and card combinations and all this stuff, and he was answering questions on the forums, and at one point Decipher's like, hey, you know a lot about this game, and you seem to have a pretty good grasp of the theory. You want to work with us from time to time. And this was the 90s, so, it wasn't you want to telecommute in because nobody thought about that back then. So he said, sure, and we moved to Virginia and stayed there for a long time. And then came back about 2004, 2005 or something. I don't remember when Decipher went down. And he's been back here. So he's still doing the same thing. He's just working for a local company now. So he's with the company here in Colorado. So it's a thing. But yeah, he and I used to talk a lot about that. But I know for a fact that Decipher was a bunch of Trekkies. Because there were a number of people he worked with who, even today, you don't want to get into a trivia contest with these guys. Even I have a hard time staying in a trivia contest with these guys. Their wellspring of Star Trek knowledge is so dynamic. It's so deep, and it's just ridiculous. But he and I did once go to a trivia night, and we took second place, but only because I messed up one of the Enterprise questions. It was my fault. We would have taken first if it wasn't for me. That's okay. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's being human. So, anyway, I had an idea for doing. It's one of those things. Yeah, I think that there will be a resurgence. Is what I think will happen. So many things are now on phones that at some point we'll realize we don't talk to each other, and there will be a resurgence of things that you can do together on a table. And so and it may be 15 years or 20 years from now. So I may make this game and then die. Well, I'm not going to die in 15 years. But I may make this game and then somebody might pick it up down the road and go, hey, we should do this. Who's this invented by? Some old guy who's dead now. That's fine. You do what you do. So, but I don't know. I mean, maybe there'd be a phone app. Who knows? A phone app or a PC app would be very useful. It would be. I wouldn't mind that. maybe. I don't know. I feel like there's a bigger problem with all of us, that it's the same thing. Like, my kiddo is addicted to games. And getting him pulled off of a game is, you pretty much need a crowbar. But also, I also think that if you asked my mom, she would have said I was addicted to television. Even if you'd asked my grandma, I know that my grandma griped that my dad was addicted to those movies in the movie houses because he kept going back and watching Zorro 57 times. You go back before that, I'll bet you'd find that my grandma was addicted to radio. I think there's a point when we grow up where, as we're evolving and as we're growing up and as we're growing older, I think we hit some point where we just want to play all the time, and we have to be broken of that. And you can try to break the kids of it, but I don't think it'll work. BTL. Maybe. And I'll bet you if you go back far enough, Better Than Life. Gotcha. Yeah. Escapism. I bet you if you go back far enough, you'd find, kids these days, all they do is go home and read those trashy novels. They don't want to live life. They just want to read those trashy novels. They need to get out more. I mean, how are you going to learn to drive a horse and carriage if you read trashy novels all the time? We need people who can light gas lanterns. We don't need people who read novels all the time. 10 to 1, I'll bet you. I bet you if you go back far enough, you'd end up with the same thing. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I just got this watch. It was part of what caused my meltdown of the PC this morning this evening, my new watch, right? So I've got this watch, and it's cool. It tells me all kinds of things, important stuff, right? We're only on we're fully charged, so I'll put it back on so that it can do the things it's supposed to do. And I think now that I've gotten this, it will start alerting me that somebody has messaged me or whatever. And I will get a whole bunch of random messages. It's an Android. It's not much better than a Fitbit. It's the real reason we got it was that we wanted the ability to tell how I'm sleeping at night and my oxygen levels and things like that. So it was really kind of what we're looking for, and how many steps I was taking a day. But it also, we discovered, has a speaker in it and has a microphone, so I can literally do the "Hello, how are you? I'm fine," and talk to my watch now like a 60s spy thriller. So that's kind of cool in and of itself. But, that's a thing. Shrug. So, yeah, it's a watch. But I could see, even if you and I, Donald, were sitting there playing poker, I'd still be looking at my watch to see if somebody messaged me. See what my heart rate is. pretty high. Why is it so high? I don't know. Anyway, I think the long and the short of it is I think every oh man, that I don't know. I feel like that gets right on the edge of cheating. Right. So yeah, like I totally am into the Dick Tracy thing of, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? It's cracking me up. Yeah. Anyway, I'm easily entertained. I'm also really tired tonight. I don't know what the story is. I don't think I slept well last night. That's the other thing that's going to trace is my sleeping habits. We'll see how well I slept. Yeah, this one monitors pulse and blood oxygen level. It even does say it measures blood pressure, but I'm not sure how it does that. I mean, it says it knows it, but I'm feeling like it just guesses. Because it does seem to, and it also takes freaking forever for it to figure it out. Yeah, 126/74. I don't know if that's good. Well, that's all right. Can't find my blood pressure watch anyway, or my blood pressure cuff anyway, so that's I'll figure it out. Oh, well, no. I mean, as in, I don't know whether it's actually giving me an accurate number or not whether the blood pressure is good. Some of these watches, Donald had cameras in them. This one can control my phone's camera, so I can hit the shutter there, so that you can set the camera up and then walk away and hit the shutter, and then take a picture, which I think is useful, somewhat, I guess, but yeah. So it's given me perfect readings every time, Bob. Or not perfect, but relatively good, clean readings every time. And I'm doing okay, well, does that mean I actually have good blood pressure? Or does that mean that you just give whatever reading seems appropriate at the time, We'll just guess the readings about this. Because I actually have high blood pressure and I'm on blood pressure meds. So in theory, the blood pressure meds are working and all is good, and the birds sing and the flowers bloom, and my blood pressure is all right. However, there's no guarantee of that, of course. And I have managed to lose my blood pressure cuff somewhere. Oh, there it is. Well, let's see, shall we? Let's check. I'm going to go sit down for a minute and check my blood pressure and see if it reads the same. 116/78 is what the cuffs say. Now let's see what the watch says. Also says my pulse is 86. And 123/82. Well, the pulse is correct, which is good. Interesting. Yep. Every time I go to the doctor and they check my blood pressure, I take my cuff with me and make sure that the readings match. And they do. So within a point or two, certainly enough that nobody has a problem with it at the doctor's office. That doesn't mean that they're relying on it, but at least we're pretty sure that it's within a point or two of accurate on the cuff over there. Part of the reason that you get inaccurate readings on those is because people don't do them right. You're supposed to put them on your wrist and then hold your elbow and put it right over your heart. And people put it on their wrist and lay the thing on the table or something, and then that'll give it a weird reading. So every time I do it, I put it over my heart and read it. And that's what it's calibrated for. So you'll get weird readings if you don't do exactly that. So that's a thing. Anyway, I think what I'm saying here is that I feel like the pulse is probably accurate, but blood pressure is probably no. I mean, it's probably just a toy. I mean, I'm sure it will tell me if I've got really wild blood pressure. I'm sure that would be a thing. That's the reason why they take your blood pressure right here. Same line with your heart. All right. I am not motivated to do this at all. I cannot tell you how unmotivated I am. So remarkably unmotivated tonight. I feel like though. I don't know what my blood O2 content is. Gotta admit, this thing would have been fun to give to my dad. Apparently, my blood oxygen content is too low. It's just dead. I'm dead. It's 0%, guys. Yeah, there are going to be times like this. I'm okay with it. I think we've hit sort of. Sometimes I kind of spin out a little, and I just need to kind of get my bearings and focus back in and stuff like that. And it happens every so often. And it's nothing to worry about. And it usually lasts about a day or two. And then I get my world back on track, and we are good, and all is happy. And I don't know what I'm doing with my nibbling. They were supposed to message me and tell me if I had a thing to do with them tomorrow. Okay, where am I going? Where am I going? All right. That's something. I might get some sleep. I might just bow out. I'll wait until Donald comes back from the bathroom, though, so I can say goodnight to him. And I'll wait for my nibbling to reply to me. And why doesn't this go to my phone? It's sort of one of the important things this is supposed to do is send me messages. I can call from it, but I apparently cannot send messages. And I don't know why. Oh. Messages. That's why, because it wasn't on. Huh. All right. There. All right. I said I'll wait for Donald to return. It's all right. We'll give it a couple more minutes anyway. Give it 6 more minutes and then we'll go out to bed. What I'll do is I'll go on ahead and get ready. That. Yeah, my drafting table. Yeah, so the drafting table is actually a 1965 Mayline, complete with a Mayline, and it's got a drafting engineer device on it, and I think that's really cool. And at some point, I'm going to put a camera right over it, and I'm probably going to mount the camera to this light that's right here, going up in this arm, and then that way we can do drawing, real time drawing over there on the drafting table. The engineering arm, yeah. So it's a funny thing. I've got a buddy who, she just has a penchant for finding random things, and I don't even know how she does it, but she does. She just manages to find things. And at some point, she found this Mayline at a garage sale for $10, and she bought it. And then it was sitting in her garage because she was like, "Oh, I'll find a use for it someday." And then she was like, "I'm never going to use it. I don't even know why I have it." So then she reached out to me and said, "Do you want a drafting table? Because I got one." And I'm like, "Oh, that'd be so cool." So she has a big truck. She brought it over. She doesn't live very far away. So she brought it over and dropped it off. And then like 5 days later, she's like, "I just found an engineering arm. Would you use that?" I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Cool. I'll bring that over." This is very funny. So, oh, I see. Oh, lots of things I can do on here if we do this. Brightness, phone, call, shake, on, reset, power off, QR code. Interesting. So, totally. The problem is the engineering arm is missing one of the rulers, which is fine. I'll figure out how to put the other ruler in at some point. And the locks are a little weird, like they don't lock up like they're supposed to. So I'm going to have to go through, and it probably just needs cleaning. It's from the 60s. So I'll bet you if I just pull it down and take it apart sometime, clean it all out, re-oil all the joints, and put it back on there, it'll probably be in great shape. So I'm not really that worried, but it bolted straight onto the main line just fine, and clears the main line really well, almost like it was designed to do that. And so, um, it works really well. And then that back there is my violin, and its name is Vanessa. My violin's electric, so it makes really cool noises when you put it through a distortion pedal. I'm just saying. So, anyway, yeah, it is. I mean, she gave it to me, so it'll be cheaper than pretty much anything. So, yeah, there's a lot of things kind of going on back here that are kind of going on. This one here is a phone that used to be in my dad's bedroom, and it looks like a submarine phone, or it's what it's supposed to look like. It's one of those, he bought it at Sam's or whatever, but he liked it because it has military-esque lines to it, and he had it in his bedroom for years and years and years and years and years. And I always said, oh, I really want that phone someday. Someday I really want that phone. And then the world changed on all of us. And so when he moved out of his house, he's like, well, now I've got a cell phone, so I don't really need this phone anymore. I'm going to throw it away. And I said, no, don't throw it away. I still want it. And he's like, what are you going to use it for? And so I just hang it back there to look cool. It looks fine. It looks neat. We never use it for anything. It's not even plugged in. It doesn't have power, and I don't even think it works anymore. But it still looks cool. And it's got a lot of really neat toggle switches on it, which always makes it nice, And as many things do, it reminds me of my dad, and that's cool, I always, always a good thing. So, and then I don't know, I've never told you the story. Well, we didn't know the story of this, but this is Max right here. And Max is a Tester's 1978 Visible Man, and my dad bought it and made it for me when I was a kid. And I guess I must have taken him to visit my dad in Texas or something and then left him. And my dad hand painted all of the parts in here. He painted, like you can even see, he painted the veins, and he did a phenomenal job. All the veins are in here, and he painted all of it. And I remember him doing that when I was a kid. I remember him painting all of them. And somewhere along the line, I must have left him somewhere being a space cadet. And my dad put him in a shoebox. And when we were cleaning out the storage unit after my dad passed away, there was Max just sitting there, as he's been probably for 30 years, in a box. And he was just a whole bunch of pieces still in there. And so I put him back together again, because that's what he's, you're supposed to be able to take him apart. And then I put these on there just to make sure he doesn't come apart anymore. Because Dad never glued the two halves of the shell together so that I could pull the skeleton out if I wanted to. Look at the skeleton. There you go, Jerry. Yeah. I don't remember why I called him Max. He was, I don't know. I don't know why I called him Max. However, interesting story. No, let's see if I can find an image here. Moving right to here, 70s. And there we go. In 79. Turns out that Max was the first portrait drawing I ever did. So, turns out that when I was 7 years old, I drew this picture, and my dad, who was into typing, by the way, he typed everything. So he put that down there and typed it in there, and I found this picture Um, well, I mean, to be fair, I did indeed have a live model, technically speaking. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, apparently that was one of the things that I was truly into, was drawing this at 7. So my first portraiture ever was of this guy. He was my first uh, standing model. It was cool. Max is cool. Back here, so that kind of like dad watching over me, I guess, in a way. Anyway, so Max, thank you very much for a 7-year-old. It's pretty clear that at the time that was what I was going to do. It's been pretty clear for years. Anyway, so that's a thing. It's a great story with good both endings on it. The flux capacitor you see here, I built over New Year's Eve this last year. We were having that snowstorm, and I ordered the Cascade Christmas lights, the icicle lights, because I had this idea that if I took icicle lights and put them interlaced like this, I would get a cool like back and forth effect. So that's where you see this bottom one. And then these two up here are just color ones going down. And then I glued it to a piece of wood using hot glue, and it's like the best $20 I've ever spent. And it's been running every day since New Year's Eve, so it's happy and does its thing. But you're right, it looks just like a flux capacitor. I call it the warp core. I even gave it an instruction on Alexa. I could say, computer, turn off the warp core. And then I can say, computer, turn on the warp core. I am who I am. So, that's all right. We're winding down. I'm out of. Yeah, the warp core works. As long as we don't have to eject it. I'm winding. I don't have Steam tonight for some reason, so I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning with a whole different thing. However, like I said, my nibbling has a presentation at like 8:00. Okay. If I don't hear from you, I will assume we cannot. Oh, come on. Work with me here. We cannot attend. If that's the case, good luck. I'm thinking of you. They are doing a presentation tomorrow that's got them kind of stressed out. And so I said I would go and support them, but then they were like, I'm not sure we can have family. It's a student thing. I was like, that's fine. Can't have family. I'm still thinking of you. You were in my thoughts. Keeping you in my thoughts. Break a leg, You might get to see me Saturday night. What am I doing Saturday night that you're doing? That's my D&D night. Are you on my D&D list? Did Troy draft you? Yep, I agree. I think I'm going to find out if Troy drafted Jerry, but if Troy didn't draft, yeah, either way, I think we will adjourn for the night, and we will see each other in the AM once I find out whether Troy drafted Jerry. Oh, you're going to that too? Sweet. I may or may not. That's a maybe because I have that's my D&D night, and so we'll have to see what the status is. So, but anyway, yeah. That'll work. Or just keep in touch with me via Messenger, Donald. You could the Messenger still comes up on this thing anyway, so Messenger comes up here too. So you could just keep binking me with Messenger, and it's fine. That way we don't have to. You don't have to give me your phone number. I mean, you can if you wish to give me your phone number. That's absolutely okay. But if you don't, you can keep me on Messenger. So anyway, because I do have Messenger on both of these going. So, all right, guys, I'm heading out. I knowing that you're going to be at Colton's thing, Jerry, I might actually try to see if I can't make it there too. So, right, like 100 million years ago, totally, dude. Anyway, either way, I'll be back on tomorrow. Probably either I'll be on tomorrow at 9 or I'll be on at 10. I don't know. It depends on whether I'm with my nibbling or not. So we'll have to see. I give them support because that's what uncles are supposed to do. So anyway, I will chat with you guys later. Everybody, good night and keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.